Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, Elisa Cafferata joins us. She's Executive Director of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. She's here for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
Take a look at Pro Group Management and see how your workers' comp requirements can be met head-on. By taking a proactive approach, Pro Group can assure that your company is meeting or exceeding state and federal standards. As you move forward in your industry, Pro Group moves with you, simplifying regulatory tasks, clearing the way so you can get the job done and look to your future success. Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Southwest Specialties has been making the homes and businesses of Nevada beautiful for more than 20 years. Their experienced designers and craftsmen create the walkways, backyards, water features, and a variety of outdoor cooking areas that add curb appeal and value to your investment. Call today or visit them at their website and see how they can make your outdoor spaces special. Southwest Specialties, creative, distinctive, beautiful.
Meet Nevada Health Link, Nevada's official health insurance marketplace. Your link to savings, selection, free assistance, and name brand health insurance, where 90% of enrollees lower the cost of their monthly premium. Everyone deserves access to quality health coverage, no matter your income or family size. Visit NevadaHealthLink.com. A few minutes could save you hundreds of dollars per month.
Nevada Health Link. Our plans are made for your plans.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad on No Holds Barred Political Forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're always pleased to welcome back to the program Elisa Cafferata. She's the Executive Director of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. Pleasure to have you back on the program.
Great to be here.
So, boy, we have had you in so many versions over the course of your careers.
Yes, you have.
The last time you were here, you were head of Dieter. And for those that may not know, I have had a long association with you and your family for, over 40 years now, which I'm very pleased about.
Yeah, us too.
So, all right, for those that don't know, what is the Children's Advocacy Alliance?
We are a nonpartisan, nonprofit organization that goes to the legislature and Congress sometimes and advocates on behalf of issues that benefit children in Nevada because similar to some of the other work I've done, children can't afford a lobbyist generally as a group, and they sometimes get left out of the discussion. So we're there to raise issues that benefit Nevada's children and families.
What struck you about this organization that made you want to join it? Because I'm sure you had lots of options.
So it's actually very similar to a lot of the other work I've done on behalf of women's health, or I'm still chair of the Nevada Women's Lobby. And so we advocate for women and families, again, because when these organizations started 30 years ago, there were not a lot of women in the building. It's maybe hard to remember. And there certainly were not a lot of women lobbyists. And so it was important to speak up for these groups that didn't really have representatives in the building.
Yes, and somewhat shocking now that we have a majority female legislature.
Yeah, the conversations in the building have definitely changed over the decades because of the women's majority, but we still have a ways to go in getting to a state where children can really thrive.
All right, so what are the biggest issues that you're dealing with right now?
I think we're in the same boat as a lot of other folks in the policy realm. So we're dealing with a lot of federal issues. The shutdown is impacting children. The HR1, the federal budget bill, is going to impact children and families. And then, of course, we're looking at a special session date to be announced that will potentially impact children and families as well.
From the special session point of view, I know that one of the topics that State Senator Robin Titus brought up the other day was health. What's the connection to what you're doing as far as children's health? And we don't know the announcement yet from the governor, but I mean, what are you anticipating?
So we're anticipating that he might bring back his health bill. So there's an opportunity to put in place some policies to protect children. I think what is still to be decided is how much is the state going to try and anticipate the impacts from the federal budget, HR1, to the state and get ahead of that. Stacey Weeks has said that the shift in costs in Medicaid, which is taking on some of the administrative costs that the state could absorb because it's $19 million. But I think that that discounts a lot of the impacts that are already happening in the state of people losing their coverage because of the work requirements and eligibility requirements. So I think the state is going to be left with a bigger hole in just access to healthcare. And of course, the fight we're having right now is the subsidies for the health insurance exchange and what it's going to cost families to access healthcare insurance, which is almost a prerequisite to accessing any kind of healthcare that's not in an emergency room.
You know, it's going to be fascinating and potentially devastating to see what the increases are in insurance premiums come November 1. I know that from my own insurance agent, he's been sending out notices warning of these large increases that are potentially coming down the pike. It seems like a complete reversal, obviously, from what we saw with Obamacare and the benefits that brought. There's obviously, and I don't want to get too much into the political realm with you here, but obviously there was a lot of benefit. There's been a big pushback against it, but no reforms have been promoted saying, okay, we get rid of this, then we're going to have this. And that's the part that's kind of frustrating to me. It's not that I remember Larry Mathias, who headed up the Nevada State Medical Association years ago when Obamacare first came out. He said that's a tiny part of what needs to be reformed. And he was 100% correct.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think what the Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act really focused on was getting insurance coverage for folks, which is sort of the first step in accessing healthcare because it's tough to find a provider if you don't have insurance and a way to pay for it. And there were some provisions in the Affordable Care Act to address other aspects of cost, like the price of prescription drugs and the competition among hospitals and all sorts of other aspects that are built into our system that increase the cost. So America has some of the highest per capita costs in healthcare without the highest outcomes in health. But I just don't think we got to them because we ended up fighting over the Affordable Care Act or Obamacare in the first place without addressing those fundamental issues. So those are still there, and healthcare is really expensive and tough to access. And Nevada has a lot of challenges in that we don't have providers. And I think the federal budget bill is going to, in the long term, really hurt rural healthcare. There is a short term infusion of money, but I think that will not last for very long. So we still have these access and affordability issues.
It was, over the last year, unfortunately, I've had to utilize medical care in Costa Rica and in Spain. And I was shocked at how relatively inexpensive it was in Costa Rica and exceptional, even though they said when you come back to the United States, they will make you take all the same tests again because they don't trust us. And in fact, we did all the tests again, and all the answers were exactly the same. So, kudos to Costa Rica. In Spain, getting prescription drugs did not require a fortune or an hour to wait for the prescription to be filled. It was, okay, here's a prescription, thank you, and boom, boom, here are the 2 boxes that you need, and have a nice day. Completely different than the way we deal with things here.
Yeah, there are certainly plenty of models around the world that we could take advantage of and benefit from, and we just haven't. And I think at the heart of what Children's Advocacy Alliance does is that, healthcare and investing in children should not be partisan issues. These should not be the issues that we use to turn out voters. We should be investing in our kids and our families and our health, and making this a great country and a great state to live in. Not that they aren't, but that's it makes it a little trying, especially when you have an experience with another country and it's like, why can't we have that?
Well, also, you talk about the cost of drugs. For those that may not remember, Barbara Buckley, when she was the speaker, passed legislation that allowed Nevadans to go to a website for the state that listed pharmacies in Canada, that it then became legal for you to be able to go to Canada and be able to get those medicines at a significantly cheaper price. I remember talking to one of those pharmacies because I certainly used it for some of my more expensive medications. And I said, I don't know why you guys don't advertise in Nevada because your prices are so much better. They said, we don't need to. We are so busy already that, your 3 million people don't matter in terms of, our business model. But it continues on. The only concern that out of the country providers have is the tariffs, because they were trying to figure out over the last couple of months what the increase might be for bringing those medications into the United States. But still, with very expensive medicines in this country, I was able to purchase medicines through a reputable, licensed Canada pharmacy and get those medicines at a much cheaper cost, which is, it is what it is. By the way, do you not think that when a parent goes to a hospital or to a doctor with a child, that the last thing on their mind is partisan politics, but actually getting their kid healthy?
Oh yeah, 100%. That's what parents are focused on, keeping their kids healthy and thriving. And so I think the Americans really like the features of the Affordable Care Act. They don't like Obamacare, but those are the same thing. So Americans really benefit from this policy. And it's shocking to me that our congressional representatives, not ours, but the Congress would walk away from affordable, accessible insurance and not feel the pressure, which is what I heard on some news stories this morning, that they're not feeling the pressure to address the government shutdown yet. I'm like, the health and well-being are fundamental. And I think that we really need Congress to go do their job and get us back on track and support those subsidies that help the families most in need in our country. And yeah, as you say, help parents take care of their kids.
I remember interviewing Mayor Shelley Berkeley about 6 or 8 months ago, and I was talking to her about the idea that had been floated about medical tourism in Las Vegas. And she responded quite angrily, saying, medical tourism, we don't have enough doctors to take care of the people we have here now.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely have a shortage. And and I don't see how having high-priced, tourism medicine is going to help your average Nevada family get the health care they need.
Well, according to her, we are no longer interested in that. Let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk about more about kids and what they need after this time out.
Hit the road in style during the $150,000 Roads to Riches giveaways at Tamarack Casino. Win up to $5,000 every week and a top prize of a 2026 Chevy Traverse or $40,000 in cash. It's the $150,000 Roads to Riches giveaways at Tamarack Casino.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
The trucking industry is the most resilient link in the supply chain, moving 95% of our freight in the Silver State. And while essential, the road isn't always smooth. Supply chain disruptions, rising fuel costs, and unrealistic rules and laws that hamper our ability to serve our customers and country. Our prosperity and every sector of the economy, manufacturing, mining, medicine, and food from farm to table, is tied to trucks. There's nothing without trucking.
Save money and take transit. Did you know you can ride the bus all day for less than what it would cost you for a gallon of gas? Plan your trip now by going to rtcwashoe.com.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Elisa Cafferata. She is Executive Director of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. Going back to the potentially special session here, which I think is a question of, when, not if. The film tax credit, how does that play into your thoughts about childcare?
So I've been at a couple of national conferences lately. It's national conference season, and the states that I've talked to that have these film tax credits, sort of universally say it doesn't turn out to be a good deal for children because you're diverting tax money or you're crediting back tax money that really could be better used to provide services to children. In Nevada, we have put in very little over the years in terms of adding to the federal subsidy for childcare for families most in need. So fewer than 10% of the families that qualify for a subsidy for childcare are actually able to get it. So other states invest their own state money. We've just seen New Mexico provide free daycare to all children. Other states provide universal pre-K. These are things we could be investing in our state that we are not investing in. That the states that do have a film tax credit were telling me, it just detracts from their ability to do these sorts of things. So we have a lot of concerns about what is the exchange. One analysis I saw was we'd be doing $90 million a year in tax credits and getting $22 million back for pre-K, which doesn't seem like a great return on investment as far as children are concerned.
Well, there's so many pieces of this. I remember one thing, you're talking about matching funds in the federal government funding. I asked Harry Reid one time why Nevada didn't get more money coming back from the money we sent to DC. And he said because Nevada has always been, and I'm paraphrasing, very thrifty. And so we don't want to put up the matching funds. And so that's why we don't qualify for a lot of those dollars coming back.
And we have tried to address that with some grant matching funds in the legislature. I think we've put in maybe $10 million to match kind of grants that require a state match. But it's really a small step compared to what other states do and how they invest.
Also, State Senator Robin Titus was on the program talking about the film tax credit, and she went on and on about what a bad deal this was, and including quoting Tyler Perry and the fact that even he is pulling back in the state of Georgia in terms of the movie making. We had Steve Yeager during session come on the program multiple times saying that he was not sure at all about this film tax credit. It seems like the crime bill and health are much more likely to be successful in a special session than the film tax credit, and especially going into the election cycle. Those in the know say that you don't go into a special session without having the votes in beforehand.
Well, that used to be the conventional wisdom. I don't know that that is true anymore.
Really?
I mean, I think you have to walk into a special session thinking you have the votes, but I would say, just watching from the outside, not being on the inside, this legislative session, I think there were a few things that people thought they had the votes on, and that did not turn out to be the case. Our concern with the film tax credit and any, sort of support for these tax bills that support economic development is I'm all for creating jobs. When I was the head of Dieter, that's one of our missions, was creating jobs. But it's also entirely apparent to me that the other half of the equation is it doesn't do a state any good to create thousands of jobs if people can't take them because they don't have childcare or pre-K for their kids. So we as a state have to invest in both sides of the equation, helping people get to work in the jobs that we've created. And I don't know that we've done as good a job on that side of the equation, especially for young women and young families, because there are single dads too that rely on childcare for them to be able to go to work. So I think it's an opportunity for us to continue to have that conversation as a state. I just don't know that we've sort of figured out how that all works together.
All right, let's take another break. We'll be right back after this.
Welcome to Story County, where history meets innovation, and a pioneering spirit continues to shape our future. At the heart of the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, we power the future with global leaders in technology and manufacturing, driving progress that reaches far beyond our county lines. From advanced manufacturing to tech innovation, our industries are creating thousands of quality careers, fueling a vibrant economy that benefits every Nevadan. But it's more than just growth. Our community is our foundation, supporting families, empowering local initiatives, and creating a place where everyone belongs. Be part of a legacy built on bold ideas and boundless possibilities. Join us in building a brighter future right here in Story County. Story County, helping build Nevada's future.
A power line is more than a power line. It's maintaining the bottom line for small businesses. It's keeping the assembly line moving for our workforce. For our brightest minds, it's meeting a deadline. It's on the front line with our heroes. And on the sidelines of the biggest games. It's a direct line to our loved ones. And it's a lifeline for the most vulnerable. There's a lot on the line.
No tricks, just treats at the Carson Valley Inn during the $100,000 Monster Pirate Treasure giveaways. Thousands in cash and free play giveaways every week. A monstrous $25,000 in guaranteed grand prize giveaways. Don't ghost these giveaways. Halloween awaits at the Carson Valley Inn.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Elisa Cafferata. She's the Executive Director of the Children's Advocacy Alliance, a program that we have supported on this program for a long time. What's the difference between childcare and pre-K? Because to me, childcare is something that I think we really need in this country, because it's just not fair to expect somebody to be paying out more than they're earning to be able to take care of their kids.
Yeah, so, childcare, one of the things we know from recent science is that those first 3 to 5 years of a child's life are fundamental to the success they have through the rest of their life. So those investments pay the highest returns, and that's why you see other countries investing the way they do in maternal and paternity leave, early childhood education. Pre-K is usually connected to the K through 12 system, so it uses that infrastructure and it has some of that support. But they're all designed to enrich and help our children develop in developmentally appropriate ways, including school readiness, but also that social emotional connection that is, as we're learning, critical for their brain development as well.
All right, that's where we have to leave it. Always a pleasure to see you, my friend. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back.
Each day, the Children's Advocacy Alliance partners with leaders, legislators, and families across Nevada to improve children's health, education, economic well-being, and safety. We recognize Nevada will be no better than the state of its children. Be a part of this change. Be a supporter of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. For more information, go to caanv.org.
Imagine a magical garden that feeds Carson City's hungry and homeless, teaches our high school students agriculture, creates hanging floral displays to beautify downtown, and yet charges nothing. It's not magic. It's the Greenhouse Project. It's real, it's growing, and it needs your help. Go online to carsоncitygreenhouse.org so together we can grow it forward.
Welcome to the Ahern Boutique Hotel, where luxury and warmth come together in the heart of Las Vegas.
We take pride in offering a one-of-a-kind experience for both locals and tourists.
Join us for handcrafted cocktails and an unforgettable experience.
Joel's Chop House, the perfect place to savor views of the Las Vegas Strip.
Satisfy your cravings at the Ahern Chocolate Shop.
No smoking, no resort fees, and the parking is always free. The Ahern Luxury Boutique Hotel is your home away from home.
It happens, and when it does, there's UMC Quick Care.
Check out our archives section on NevadaNewsmakers.com. Great interviews going back as far as 2002. Really worth watching. We'll see you on the next broadcast.